stuff that happened 4 hours ago, it may not be. You know what I mean? Like, this is different for me than a game. There's a lot going on. We have recruits here the whole time. And now we have the fan day. But you guys good?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful day here, and to think that our fall scrimmages, we really get 2 outside games, have turned into an event like this. I'm very appreciative of the fans for being here, the staffing of the event, the concessions, the ticketing. These have turned into really neat programmatic days, and when you try to create an actual game setting in October in college baseball, you're asking people to help and participate at a time of year when they're not used to doing that, and it takes them away from other obligations, and it means a lot to the program and the fans. UAB, I've known Casey for decades. He's a brilliant baseball guy to come down. I'm very appreciative also of that. And these moments give us a chance to evaluate the players. You can scrimmage all you want inter-squad. When you have a day like that against a good outside team, it probably provides more knowledge of your players and who needs to work on what, and everything we do is videoed and we gather metrics. So we're at a point now after this game where we can start to really do some different developmental things with each guy. So that's where we are in the calendar. Overall, I was pleased with how it went. I wasn't thrilled with the execution in some areas. There's guys that we're going to need to count on that have been very good, that I don't think have been maybe as sharp in these 2 outside games as we had anticipated. But I've seen that before, and I think we've discussed our players that were very successful the last few years, and the fall is not always an indication of what you might get from a productivity output standpoint in the actual season. So you have to understand that and take it, but not etch things that you see right now in stone. Stacking the at-bats, I did like in both games we had a flurry of good at-bats, and if you're going to score in bunches, you have to string some really good at-bats together, and you hope you have the physicality and the talent to extra base hit, home run the bases with some dynamic capabilities, and I think I do see that. Then there are times where the at-bats aren't as good and the pitch recognition doesn't look like I would hope it looks like by the time we have this conversation in February. We need to mature in some areas. We need to be a little bit more crisp with the execution and sequencing of pitches. At times today, I didn't feel that we were actually sequencing pitches. I thought we were hoping that good things happen, and it wasn't as well commanded again as I would like it to be. Did we throw all of our capable arms that are available to actually put? We did not. We have a reason why we're throwing who we're throwing. We need to see it. Some of the guys, their body of work over the long haul places us in a spot mentally where we don't think that that's the best thing for their development towards the end of October. So we have guys that are very capable that didn't throw. Again, I liked the feel that I had today. I didn't love the overall feel that I had. There were guys that had good days. I mean, Miles had a really good day, especially the ball to left field is on the very outside corner of the plate, hits it off the scoreboard. Polino had a good day. Stutzer drove some balls. Putnam had some good at-bats. DeLamalure had some good at-bats. So you could pull some positives out of it, but we're going to have to be better than this.
Was Dowd a guy that had a good day? I think
Dowd had a good day.
Yep. Over 100.
I mean, he squared some balls up right through the middle of the field, and the hit and run was well done. He's an experienced, talented player that knows what he's doing. Yes, absolutely. From the first at-bat of the day all the way through the first game, very impressive.
Peyton went in there in a high leverage situation, got guys out of it. How good is that to see from him?
It's great, and we're going to need him, and he's physical. And, you know, he threw the last part of, well, he was intended to throw the last part of the game, and then it turned in a little earlier, and Lantigua finished it. But there's a chance with that physicality, and it needs to keep going. Mike and I talked for 20 minutes during the second game about some things we felt during game one that might help him. And he's a physical kid that works very hard. He's intelligent with the game and what he's doing, and he's got 4 good pitches. I think as we continue to work at this, there's going to be some of those 4 that are great pitches. Then you're in a different category with your ability to punch people out and finish and miss barrels. But that was big for him to come out and get the punch out with the the bases loaded.
Has Noah improved a lot since?
Noah, fantastic. I know he had a couple rough at-bats, and some of the matchups, the arms he dealt with early out. A couple of the righties they ran out there were phenomenal, right-handed arms. Power stuff, good slider, good profile on the fastballs. He's had good at-bats. The play he made in left field to cut that ball off in the corner in the middle of the mess and contain it and get it in there. If that ball gets by him or he doesn't pick it up, it's a different story in Game 1. He's done a very nice job. And we saw the maturity and some of the pitch recognition. We saw flashes of it last year. But he's older, he's more mature, he's more physical, he's more comfortable in the outfield, can still play the infield. He's done a great job.
How about Hunter Carnes and Brody DeLongmore?
Carnes, some good at-bats. DeLongmore has gotten so much stronger. The way the ball comes off his bat, impressive. Carnes' approach, I think Carnes thinks through the at-bats. I think DeLong is growing and learning and playing all summer, helped him. So, as you watch a program evolve and you watch these players migrate through, it's their time. And you have to have those guys that replace some of the other players, and having them in your program for a couple of years where they know the system, you would hope that helps. And the things they do in this weight room and in the new cages, it should add up to them being better, and I feel like they are.
And that
Hey, Coach. Miles Bailey, first year, obviously he had a great first year. Him going into the second year this year, how do you feel like he's progressing into this year?
He knows more about what he's doing and what works for him. We were trying to figure out this time last year what worked for him and what he needed to work on. He knows that, and it's still not polished. There's things he'll tell you right now that we need to work on in the back end of the fall to get it dialed back in. I think he's continuing to learn how to play first base. The base running play, the lead he had at first base, the intelligence, and we work on this, but you still have to apply it in the game. Massive lead, to beat the force play. Putnam hit the ball at the middle, the shortstop fielded it. To beat that play, the athleticism and the baseball sense to be able to beat that, probably changed the inning that we scored the 5 or 6 runs in the first game. So, smart player.
In fall, you're testing out all your pitchers, obviously, and you're seeing a lot of guys in there, but not seeing Wes in there, does that kind of solidify him as your Friday night guy, or is that still kind of open?
We don't know. I mean, that'll be a preseason determination. He's thrown a lot, and we saw him really good the last time he pitched, and we felt like that was enough. Now he can just work on some things. I didn't feel that we needed to push the envelope with him, throwing an inning or two in this. He's been on that mound a lot in this stadium, and that doesn't mean that he's a Friday starter or a Saturday starter. We'll determine that sort of thing in the preseason. We just didn't feel the need to try to pitch him in this, or Bryson or Stokes or those guys.
What was the explanation from the umps in that 5th inning situation?
You can go ask them again, because I'm not sure I've ever seen that play. They said it was swing interference. It wasn't the batter moving into the actual throwing lane. So that's different. And they said at that point, if we had retired the guy at second, then that would have changed it. But when we didn't retire the guy at second, that basically pushed them back, and you went from there.
It was just a strike.
It was just a strike. If we had recorded the out in between second and third, then you could also, I guess, play the guy at first. But when we didn't record that out, then I think that derailed your chance to get an out, if I understood it. And then Estes thought they had called the base runner out of the baseline between second and third, which the umpire said, no, we never made that call. They said they had called obstruction on Estes. So I need to go back and watch that thing again. I don't think I've ever had that discussion on the field in that sequence of plays. There were probably 4 different rules that needed to be discerned in that little flurry of whatever you want to call it, action or lack of action.
Time for 1 or 2 more. With Stutzer, I mean, his speed is obvious. Is he a guy that can help immediately?
Immediately.
So last weekend I got the chance to ask you about Cal and Eli, and if you were going to potentially utilize either of them in the DH position. You said you'd rather see them both of their infield abilities. But obviously we saw Eli in the DH position in Game 1. Is that something you're still kind of testing out, or like you're still thinking about, or are you still pretty like not?
Totally testing it out.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted him to play a certain spot in Game 2, but I wanted him to have at-bats. So I DH'd him, and then I hit him way down in the lineup in Game 2, and he still got at-bats. But it's just what I thought we and he both need it.
Just between last week and today, what did you see from Jarrett here?
The collection of the pitches is very good and very unique. Everything's got something above average to it. The execution of it still needs to be better. The changeup is really good. The way the fastball plays is good. He's got two good secondary breaking pitches. I think the conviction with which he throws those could be a little bit better, and those two pitches then become dynamic. But everything he does is a little unique. The arm slot, the profile metrically of the pitches are all pretty interesting. So when you mix all of that up, like if it's executed, you have pretty good stuff to have to defend. There's going to be balls in play, but because of the push-pull, the fastball changeup, and I think when the breaking pitches are thrown aggressively, it's going to be really special. It's going to be good. Different than Jamie Arnold and Dorsey and Mendez. Everybody's different, but his collection of stuff is pretty exceptional.
Hey, Coach.
Sorry, we got a last question.
Are they about ready out there?
Yeah, they're about ready. So Liam,
Last question. One of the problems you all addressed this offseason was the bullpen. The new guys you guys have brought in this year, how do you feel overall about the bullpen heading into the year?
I didn't feel as good coming out of today as I was hoping I would. Purcell was one of the most effective relief pitchers in the country. And the last two outings haven't been what they need to be, and he knows that. Again, like Beard, the profile of the pitches is very unique, and it's tough. But he clearly didn't command it. His fastball has tremendous carry and ride. Even when it's down, you see hitters completely give up on it, and the ball planes out, and it's very effective. His breaking pitches are good, and it's a unique, very high, steep angle arm slot. He's going to have to be better. And we have Nard, who pitched for Duke, who's coming in the spring. He's going to graduate from Duke, but that's a very experienced ACC reliever that's not here. We wanted him to get his degree and finish, get your degree at Duke, and then come here and start your master's work here. He'll be an effective piece. And then, when you're shortening everybody's outing, it's really hard to project what the bullpen might feel like because you're not really opening a starter up for 5 or 6 or 7 innings. So everybody is in the equation right now almost as a reliever. So I think that combination too might make me feel like it wasn't quite as sharp overall, but we're using the staff completely different now than we would in the spring when you actually have your bullpen prepped and used for certain matchups.
Liam with the last question.
Just quick thoughts. You restructured your contract over the week. You get to come out Hauser a few days later. Just how special is this place to you and to get to stay here long term?
This is unbelievably unique and special to me. I have a lot of pride here. I take this personally, what we do here. I want to finish this off here. The time and the thoughts and the effort to try to build this program, and you can even, I felt that way as a player, you can look back to that and how much it meant to me. And to coach here and have an opportunity for them to solidify me here when they probably didn't need to do that. It's a really good feeling, and I love it here. And the fans and the support that we have for the program, president, board of trustees, athletic administration, everybody in this is fighting to position the programs to be the best they can be. Every program, including ours. And what they did for me was part of that. And they're doing that for programs outside of this baseball stadium. And college athletics demands that, and it's tricky. And the financing and the fundraising, the things that we're asking of our administrators and our board of trustees and our president and the campus, I don't think it's ever been pushed at a higher level in college athletics. And them stepping up to help me along personally meant the world.
Thank you.